Hello and welcome to TED, Ideas Worth Sharing. Today I am going to be presenting to all of you who are virtually watching from Chemeketa Community College about diversity and biology and nature and communities. But before we get started with that, I am going to have you start thinking about ways of thinking. And I know that may sound funny, but we need to put on our science hats, because in science, we ask how does something happen and what is happening. But in other disciplines, like philosophy, you may ask why something happens. Why is somebody angry? Why are they mad? But in science, we're trying to figure out the how. How does something happen and why? What are the factors involved? What is controlling it? How do we stop it? How do we speed it up? What are the interactions? So that there is just to get us started so that we have on our science caps. Okay, and now we're going to define a few words that are going to be super important. So ecological diversity is different organisms that live in the same area. So for instance, you may have fern trees and oakwood trees. They're different organisms that live in the same forest. We have species richness, which is the number of different species. So for instance, if there are, 4 different kinds of trees, one that is dark green, light green, and one that has needles, then that would be 3 different types of species. Relative species abundance is how common or how uncommon a species is. For instance, if that oak tree, there's only one, then that's rare. But with the pine tree, if there is 4 of them, it's not as rare, so it is more common. So let's move back to ecological diversity. Ecological diversity, as I explained, is like biodiversity, which means the different amounts of species that is there. And so this can be calculated by dividing the number of species by the number of individuals in a community. So for example, if we have, back to the trees, if we have 4 different types of trees and there are a total of 10 trees, we would do 4 divided by 10. And yes, I understand that gives you a decimal, but you're trying to figure out how diverse the community is and how much of all of those species is a certain type of tree. So if you're looking at oakwood trees, you're like, okay, there's this many trees because it's just a forest that has trees. Let's just pretend. Normally forests have other things, but we're just focused on trees to make it simple so that everybody can understand. Then you would go, okay, this is how many of this particular type of tree. This is how much it is, and then you take all of those numbers and you add them up, and you should get 100%, should be the entire forest. And so within this, there is species interactions that happen. So now we're going to switch into talking about trees to talking about animals. So a mutualism is when it is positive for both. So for instance, there are some, very simple example that I think a lot of you may know, but it's the bees that pollinate flowers. They're both benefiting. Then we have commensalism, which a lot of scientists don't think this one actually happens because it's one species benefits and one species isn't harmed nor benefited. And so they don't think this happens a lot, but there is one example that, and this is the only example really out there, is that there is in the ocean, there is the mussels that'll get stuck on whales and stuff, and having a couple, it's positive for the mussels, but then it's not positive for the whales. The next type of interaction we have is the exploitation, where there is a positive and a harm. So for instance, one species benefits and one species doesn't benefit. Okay? So for instance, if a giraffe eats the leaves off of a tree, well, the giraffe benefits because it's eating the leaves, but the tree doesn't benefit because it's losing its leaves. Then there is competition where both species do not benefit. So basically it's one species is gonna eat another species, and even if the species gets away, it's harmed because maybe it got injured, it had to flee from its habitat. And with all of that, this all happens in a population. And a population is all the species that live in the same area. And now populations have boundaries. And it's the area in which the population lives. So for instance, I could say the population is my front yard that's right in front of me, and all of the trees and the grass and the shrubs that live there, that's one population. And then, that is one area, but then in that, there's different populations. So like the shrubs is one population if it is all the same kind of shrub. But that is in the area would be my front yard. Another example would be maybe bees in a forest. All of the bees in that forest, in that area, is a population, but the boundaries is from the start of the forest to the end of the forest. And so when you're going to talk about like species richness and some of those vocab words we talked about at the beginning, like species richness and kind of like how do I know, like, is this population thriving? You would be like, okay, we need to look at how many bees there are to see, is there an abundance, low abundance, or medium abundance? And so with that, you have to be like, okay, you have to know where you are counting, because if you're just willy-nilly walking around somewhere, oh, I found another bee, add to my data, that's not good. So you have to know where you are looking. And so that is a brief overview and summary about diversity and populations. Thank you, everybody, for joining me in my quick TED Talk for great understanding. Thank you. Bye.